I was very surprised that one of your top picks is Gilead, a stock that other analysts are worried isn't really going to go anywhere, even if it does continue to roll out remdesivir and other coronavirus treatments. It's just not going to make a lot of money off of that. Talk a little bit about why you like it.
Great. Well, just taking a step back, I mean, there's more to Gilead than remdesivir, and our thesis is much more than that. You know, their base business for HIV remains very, very strong, and I see a tail for that, over the next 10 years of very strong growth from the business. And on top of that, Gilead's new management team, which got in place about 2019, they've significantly started to do deals. You've seen many deals hit the tape for Gilead in oncology, hematology. So they're starting to build that pipeline that everyone's looking for. I know we kind of all lost sight with remdesivir. I do think with the inhaled product, there's a possibility there could be potential revenues over the long run. But, for me, the fundamental story on Gilead is HIV and that pipeline. In my view, I think they're continuing to do both and executing well.
So what about AstraZeneca? I mean, would you kind of look at these stocks from the point of view of COVID plays, or are you setting that entirely to the side?
Me personally, I'm setting it to the side somewhat. I mean, it's hard to fully ignore it. It's kind of like a cherry on top in my view. But, fundamentally, we're looking at these businesses and trying to figure out how their base business looks and, how their pipeline, which will continue to support that. I think COVID is a nice to have, and certainly I'm impressed and pleased by what the pharmaceutical industry has done here. But, for either of these companies, it all goes back to the basics, what they're doing, how they're going to grow over the next 10 years. COVID will be a piece of it, but it's not all of it.
Yeah. Why is it that you think the whole sector right now is hitting all-time highs? I mean, I've heard theories ranging from people are going to be less hostile about drug pricing in the future because of how we're looking for salvation with COVID, basically. Also just the fact that there is a lot of usage of the healthcare system, but at the same time, we're not getting a lot of those treatments that you would normally have. They are all having to be postponed. That includes cancer treatments and some of those other things. So why do you think the IBB is performing as well as it is right now?
Well, I mean, for the past couple of years, parts of biotech haven't performed incredibly well. So I think a little bit of that's a factor. And secondarily, biotech and pharma are part of the solution, not the problem here. And from a generalist perspective, you want to take bets on a defensive sector and a sector that's part of the solution. And certainly, solving the problems that we have around COVID are likely going to be related to a drug or a vaccine. So, I think that is causing a rotation from certain other sectors into the sector in particular. But, let me be clear before that, I think there are still strong fundamentals underpinning the biotech sector. Number one, innovation is at all-time highs. Number two, the regulatory environment is much more collaborative than it ever has been. And number three, M&A continues to be a factor in the space. Deals are getting done via Zoom or whatever they're doing. So, it's still a space that I feel very, very strongly about. I felt that way in the beginning of the year, and I continue to feel that way.
Quick final question, although it encompasses a lot. Why GBT and myocardia as your other top picks?
Okay, great. Well, two of my favorite topics. So let me start with GBT, Global Blood Therapeutics, where we have an overweight rating. Now, Global Blood has a drug that was recently approved called Oxbryta for sickle cell disease. Now, the interesting thing is I think that sickle cell is a space where there has been very little clinical development into the past couple of years. This company now has a drug that's approved, a pill that is very clean to take. We estimate sales of $3 billion at peak. Obviously, the controversy remains, well, is the launch going to work? How are they going to beat numbers? I continue to think they will in light of COVID or anything that's going on there. So very positive on GPT. Myocardia, a little bit of a different storyline. They're a precision medicine cardiovascular company that recently had a very positive phase 3 readout on a drug called mavacamten. The stock obviously ripped on that. But, my thesis from here is there's more to myocardia than just this. This is the beginning for this company. They have mavacamten, but they have other drugs that, are kind of in development right behind it, targeting kind of different parts of the cardiovascular environment. And they, using that genetics and precision medicine approach, in my view, gives a higher probability of success. So both of these are companies that I think have a long runway for the years out.
That's like a graduate course in 3 or 4 minutes. Alethia, thanks so much. We appreciate it as always.